the early days of bombing were both massive and indiscriminate affairs. Now, admittedly, this is, I believe, Nagasaki, but it didn't look all that different than Tokyo, which never was attacked with a nuclear weapon, but was firebombed. In fact, the casualties in one of the fire bombing runs against Tokyo, pretty much equaled or exceeded, depending on how long you run the clock on radiological sickness, as Hiroshima or Nagasaki. And the places look like this. And the reason why is the median hit miss distance, which is to say that half of the bombs would fall within 75 square miles of the target at the beginning of the war. And towards the end, it didn't get that much better. It's one of the rationales implicit in atomic weapons is you don't need precision because the lethal area is so large. In any case, to make sure that you hit a target, you had to destroy a lot of things that weren't the target because you couldn't otherwise be sure you would hit it. So they just dropped lots of tonnage. Or in the case of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they dropped a very large yield weapon. What's changed is best represented in this next photograph. Now we can hit with so much precision that the driver of a car carrying a terrorist in the rear seat can live to tell the tale and open the door and walk out, even though the rear passenger will not be able to. Now, admittedly, this takes a lot of intelligence and it isn't a given, and we can't do this in every case, but that we can do it at all is quite remarkable. And it is indicative of the movement from CEPs, or circle of error probables, which is that median hit distance figure of 75 square miles, down to 1 meter. Let me repeat, down to 1 meter. So, that's a change which I always like to say our former president would describe as huge. All right. So what does that mean for our target set that we're interested in? Let's find out. Oh, well, a few more kind words about change. The other thing that's occurred is the technologies of precision guidance have been incorporated in cruise and ballistic missiles that Indians have, Taiwanese have, Chinese have, Russians have, Iranians have, Azerbaijanis have, Israelis have, North Koreans have, South Koreans have. You can see the list is getting rapid along. This is not a technology that's any longer only held by the superpowers. So they're spreading and widely available. And let's go to the next page. I think they're probably, let's show you what this looks like. Let's play the first one. This is the Loral, which is an Israeli missile that was used in the Armenian-Azerbaijani conflict. And here they're launching it out of a canister on a moving platform. And it will show you. It has a range of, certainly 500 kilometers. Well, that's pretty good. And they say bullseye. That target was not that big. At about 10 meters. And then we have the Koreans, South Koreans, who are flying a variant of a rocket that the North Koreans have. They're both rockets that the Russians helped them develop. And this is Hamnu, I believe. And you can see that when they hit the target, again, you're talking less than 10 meters. That is new. To give you some idea, when I worked in the Pentagon, which was some 30 years ago, the missiles that folks had median hit distances of up to almost a kilometer or 500 meters. Um, Scuds, if they hit anything, it would be lucky. All right, so let's move on. Of course, here, we all know about drones, yes, because, well, it's in the news. And you can see there are Chinese, Turkish, North Korean, Iranian, and commercial zones. And then there's my favorite, the Amazon's drone. And reason that's my favorite is you can buy these things, and they can carry 20, maybe even more pounds and still be under $10,000 easily. The prices keep coming down for even high payload things. And normally you use these to photograph things or film something, or to do, I don't know, crop dusting. I mean, I've actually seen that. In any case, that's 20 kilograms. I said 20 pounds. I meant to say 20 kilograms. That's 44. So 20 times 2.2. Well, it should be 20 kilograms for 2.2 would be, isn't that 44? I think it's 44 pounds. That's a lot of high explosive. It can do a lot of damage. So the point here is that these things have CEPs that we'll see momentarily that are also pinpoint. When I say circle of error probable, I'm describing a circle that is defined by the radius from the point that you're trying to hit, in which half of the weapons that you aim at your point fall within. And so it's your CEP is that radius. And the CEP of these things is about 1 or a few meters. Let's go to the next slide. And here we know why that sounds right. Here's an attack in 2019 against Abqaiq that knocked out 5% of the world's oil capacity. They got it up very quickly. But the holes, you'll notice, are in the exact same spot. As Lenin would say, this too was no accident. Israeli analysts estimate that these drones had to have a CEP of about 1 meter. What's also interesting is that they evaded Patriot, Skyguard, and Shaheen missile defenses, which are amongst some of the more sophisticated ones available to NATO. They were able to evade them entirely. And one of the comments right after the strike was by very senior officials in NATO thinking out loud that, oh my God, we're in trouble. In any case, this also helps explain what the vulnerabilities are of reactors when we get to that section. This was not the case 20 or 30 years ago. Yet missiles could not do this. In fact, the raids that we had against reactors, and there were a good number of them, approximately, from 1980 to 2007, they were binary things. You either destroyed the entire target or not, and you used an air bomber, basically a fighter bomber, or you had very, very inaccurate missiles that either got lucky and hit something, but more likely never hit anything. So it was all or nothing at all.